You ever wonder how Cleveland Browns fans drink their beer?
Like a dog.
Welcome to That's Good Broncos. I'm Brandon Perna, the only non-breastfed football anchor on screen, and the Denver Broncos eked out another victory against the Cleveland Browns in an overtime thriller. Wait, in an overtime shitstorm 26-23, and this game will forever be known as Plight of the Pigeonhole.
Kevin, what's this? It's a turtle dove. I have one, you have one. As long as we each have a turtle dove, we'll be friends forever.
Hey Cleveland, put some fucking pigeon poison on that field. You know what they say, birds of a feather fuck together. That's good sports. This game between the Denver Broncos and the Cleveland Browns was the perfect storm of pigeon shit, dog bones, and flaccid horse penises. Sure, individually, they all sound appetizing, but put them together and it would make even Andrew Zimmern's stomach turn. But I will say this, I have a lot of respect for Browns fans. They're a tortured group of people. They just sit there patiently waiting to be disappointed. The Broncos started the game by moving the ball well. Peyton Manning even connected with Emmanuel Sanders on a bootleg for a first down. But that all ended when Manning threw this ill-advised pass and was picked off by Carlos Dansby. And this is how Peyton Manning felt after that first pick. Fortunately for Manning, the Broncos defense easily stopped the Browns, and Chris Harris was the man who made the play on a 3rd and 5. But was almost whiplashed by Brandon Marshall. The Browns actually went for it on 4th and 4, and of course they did not convert. In a classic case of one-upsmanship, the Broncos showed the Browns how to properly convert a 4th and 4 with this great toss and catch between Manning and Demaryius Thomas. Denver's red zone struggles continued behind an inability to run the ball past the 20-yard line. Brandon McManus came in and Daniel Sund this 29-yarder down the gooch. Shaq Barrett played a great game, filling in for the legend DeMarcus Ware, making plays like this run stop for a loss. As nice as that play was, it pales in comparison to seeing Josh McCown officially getting Talib, who picks off McCown's shitty throw, celebrates way too early, and then nearly gets caught by the speedy Travis Benjamin. Talib finished his Talibing with a loving set of kisses for the Browns fans, who were voted least kissable fans in 2014 by Forbes magazine. I have to give a special shout out to Daryl, Diane, and Alyssa, who stayed in the same hotel as the Broncos did in Cleveland, and ended up getting Talibed in the lobby. Brandon Marshall and Lorente McCray were not spotted in the hotel, but they sackified Josh McCown, who hasn't been sackified since going through puberty. Ronnie Hillman then stepped up to the plate and procured a terrific, yes, just a terrific 27-yard run after reading his blocks perfectly, cutting at the correct time, and hauling ass up the field. Denver couldn't get as close as they needed, and Brandon McManus missed his first field goal of the year on this 51-yard attempt. The half was almost over, and with seconds left, the Browns tried to capitalize on great field position by chucking this Hail Mary into the end zone. The dirty pigeon from hell, Henry, made sure there would be as few exciting plays as possible in this game. Coach Mike Pettin knew what they were dealing with when he said this.
No, it looked like there were too many pigeons on the field helping the Broncos. I'm going to have Gary Barnidge take care of that during halftime. Oh, those motherfucking pigeon motherfuckers.
As Pettin suggested, the Ratbirds devoted their loyalty to the Browns after halftime because Gary Barnidge milked a few desperate pigeons in his Pontiac Firebird in the stadium parking lot to win their favor. Barnidge was rewarded with his first of 2 second-half touchdowns in the right corner of the end zone. The Dirty Birds told him,
"Just run to where the poop is, and you will succeed, Barnidge."
Demaryius Thomas will receive shit later in this episode for his drop passes, but right now I will praise him for this great block he executes to spring Ronnie Hillman for 10 on the weak side. Well, it was Dante Whitner that Thomas laid out. Even Peyton Manning can wipe the floor with Whitner. Hey Dante, bro, I'd hit the weight room if I were you. Gary Kubiak did his best to motivate an offense that was underperforming by yelling at them on the sideline. But it was hard for his team to focus as Paul Kruger repeatedly tried to seduce women in the crowd by howling at them. Hey Kruger, that's Derek Wolf's bit. Sack attack, balls back, Barrett rushed, untouched, and lit up Josh McCown like a jack-o'-lantern. Timely reference, and also stripped the ball. Nobody was more excited about that play than Brandon Marshall. Shaq said, "Get out of my face, and I'm going to ride the horsey now." For show. And the Broncos offense did what it has done all season, and took that opportunity, and crapped on it, put it in the freezer, jammed some popsicle sticks in it, and called it a dessert. When Manning couldn't connect with Sanders, the entire world suffered listening to Dan Fouts try to be funny.
That's one of those dying quails there. Another bird reference for you, if you will.
First of all, Fouts, it's dying pigeons, obviously. Second, those are big words from a quarterback who has 30,000 fewer passing yards than Manning. Brandon McManus finished the drive with a 25-yard field goal down the gooch. In flight of the pigeons, the Broncos suffered from missed opportunities. Brandon McManus comes to the rescue and swivel kicks a 39-yard field goal, you guessed it, down the gooch. Gary Barnage's deal with the Devilbirds continued. He ran to the poop spot in the end zone and hauled in his second easy touchdown on the day. The Broncos were only up 16-14 at this point. The refs, again, were no help to Denver, missing an easy late hit call on Peyton Manning. This dipshit watches it happen, sort of reaches for his flag, but can't find it, so he says, fuck it, it's no big deal. The Pigeons lived up to their end of the Barnage sex trade and stopped Ronnie Hillman from winning the Big Dick Player Award when he bobbled this dump pass he should have caught, but instead it falls into Carlos Dansby's hands, who returned it for a Cleveland touchdown. The Browns took a 2016 lead, and Mike Pettin showed just how intimidating he really is. Regardless of what was spewing out of Pettin's mouth, the Denver defense stopped the Browns' two-point conversion attempt twice, keeping the score 20-16. Peyton Manning responded like a man and fired the perfect ball down the field to Emmanuel Sanders, hitting him in stride. Sanders doesn't miss a beat and scorches the Browns for a 75-yard touchdown. And just like that, the Broncos reclaimed the lead 23-20. Then it was the defense's turn to shit on the opportunity the offense provided for them. And Derek Wolfe pulls just a bonehead play out of his ass. The refs don't miss that one. Defense tightened and forced the Browns to kick a field goal, and the game at this point was tied 23-23. And a lot happened in the last minute and a half of this game. Denver just needed to get into field goal range against a shitty defense, but when your star receiver drops passes like this, it makes it really hard. Cleveland got the ball back and was driving, but buckled under the relentless Denver pass rush, forcing Josh McCown to make this terrible throw that was picked off by David Bruton. You may have thought Josh McCown would have gotten an earful from his coach after that interception, but guess what? He already had one. An earful of wax. The Broncos had one last chance to close it all out, but there was this weird play where Manning hit Sanders deep down the left sideline. Sanders waddles into the end zone, unaware the clock is still ticking because they ruled him down. Emmanuel also hurt his shoulder on the play, and after review, they ruled it wasn't a catch, so Denver punted, regulation ends, and we go into overtime. Emmanuel Sanders, being the saint of steel he is, tried to get back into the game, and Manning obviously trusted him more than anyone else at this point, throws him the ball, but nobody is there because Sanders can't run with his bum shoulder. Manning then goes to Demaryius Thomas, who drops his second wide open pass of the game. Peyton said, "Hey, if you guys don't want the ball, fine, fuck you, I'll give it to Barkevious Mingo." Thankfully, the Broncos defense is just amazing. There's no other way to say it. And they are awarded the Big Dick Player Award for this series in the game. The Browns had excellent field position and basically just needed one first down to try a field goal. Malik Jackson said, not so fast, and bull rushes his way to a Josh McCown sack for a loss. On the next play, sack Barrett, Antonio Smith, and Jackson again drop McCown for another loss and force the Browns to punt. Owen Daniels finally manages to show up and converts a big 3rd and 5 and picks up a big gain down the sideline. Manning then finds Demaryius Thomas in Cleveland territory. C.J. Anderson converted a very important 3rd and 2. Denver entered field goal range. And the golden leg of Brandon McManus, who will receive the other Big Dick Player Award for his game-winning 34-yard field goal that he had to make twice after Mike Pettin tried to ice him by calling the Mike Shanahan last-second timeout. The second kick sneaks in the gooch, and the Broncos win 26-23. Since I complimented the Browns fan base, now I have to say they do have the world's worst superhero. Who is he? Captain Dogbone? Captain Dog Pound? Is Michael Vick his Lex Luthor? I need the mythology behind this superhero. Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Broncos. Please subscribe here and give me a follow on Twitter at Brandon Perna. The music you hear is from the Mad Fanatic. Check out his YouTube channel for 100% Broncos music. That's how you properly milk a pigeon.